Welcome to Sonic Fit. This is instructor interface video number 2, showing instructors how to create assessments and practice logs. In video number 1, instructor interface overview, we learned how to set up as an instructor. So right now we're just going to log in. And let's go to my class test and then to build the course page. So an assessment is a test and we pick what exercise we're going to test. Let's test intervals and then click on the add an assessment button. The most important thing is changing your settings. So we're going to test intervals. Let's not test quality, and let's give lots of seconds per problem. So let's pretend that this is a beginning class. And we won't have leisure lines either. So those are the settings I want for it. In all of your assessments, it's really critical that you go into settings and set exactly the parameters that you want. And then you give it an assigned date. Today's August 3rd. Let's make it due on August 14th. You give it a name, and this is what students will see. So I'm going to call this beginning intervals. And because we're going to actually go in and do them, I'm just going to assign 10 problems. You have this parameter. If you want to give them the opportunity to take their best score out of 10 tries, you could give them 10 tries. But I'm actually going to leave that off. And then you submit. And it's not letting me submit, and I now see that I forgot to click on the assign date. So here's the assign date, and now it works. One handy feature I have is, say you want a week later to be working on more advanced, let's say less time per problem, and we're gonna include leisure lines. So we'll call this just intervals quantity only. Submit. Okay, so you can maybe do 3 works worth of progressing through different settings of this exercise. If we go back to viewing the scores, then we will see that what I just input is right here. Intervals, quantity only, beginning intervals, right here. If I wanted to assign those assessments to a different unit, just make sure that your unit is highlighted here. Well, actually on the build the course page. So this will now go into the unit fall 2010. A practice log is slightly different. To add a practice log, this box only applies to assessment. You just click on the button and you give your practice log a name. Let's say scale degree practice, August 14th. And we're just going to say that all the student gets to practice is scale degrees, but they can work with any settings that they want. But I don't want them particularly spending time on the flashcards, just this exercise. When you submit it, then it appears right here. Scale degree August 14th. Right here is where it appeared. Now let's go in and see Now let's go in as a student. We're going to go into that class and see what this looks like. So here we have sharp key signatures that I created, and over here we have the practice log, August scale degree, August 14th, 20 minutes required for exercise scale degree. And then what was the other one that beginning intervals, that appears here. So then what the students do is they would have to go into exercise scale degrees, and then they have control over their settings. So they can say, well, I have a lower voice, I want to sing in the key of A, and I'm kind of hot stuff, so I want to jump to difficulty level 3, and I like to hear the clarinet sound. So now they have control over that, and then they hit start and they can work through some exercises. In contrast, when the student takes an assessment, like beginning intervals that we just created, then they don't have any control over the settings. The setting box disappears. They hit start, and then they have to do the assignment, and the clock over here is ticking. And so they have to go through all of their intervals. And I think I just assigned 10. So I could just do them here. And then it's done. And they show completing it and what their score is for that exercise. So now if we go back in as an instructor and go to that class, summer 2010, the practice log is right here. Those are the parameters that we set. They had to pick scale degree exercise, but they could work any difficulty level that was appropriate for them. And then the various students, it would display the work that they did, such as this box, where they worked for 6 seconds and got 3 out of 3 problems right, and then made their settings harder, and worked for 1 minute and 20 seconds and got 4 out of 4 problems right. I encourage you to go in as an instructor and set up an assessment and set up a practice log, and then register yourself as a student in your own class, and then go in as a student and work the assessment and work the practice log, and then go back in as an instructor and see what that looks like on your end. This will give you a really good feel for how you can use this tool.